Hey, what's going on? Matt Morris, leadwithmatt.com. Working from the lake today, enjoying a pretty awesome day. A little cloudy, but cool. So, hope you guys are awesome. I'm going to talk today about sacrifice. And, we hear so much about grinding and sacrificing. And while I will say, if that attitude, if you get off on sacrificing, if you get off on grinding it out, then more power to you. If that motivates you, then let that be a motivation. But if I speak mainly to the network marketing profession. A lot of other entrepreneurs tune in because the messages carry over. But today what I'm talking about is obviously, what are you willing to sacrifice so your kids don't have to, so they don't have to sacrifice. What I'm really talking about is the things that we sacrifice in network marketing, as an example, or, for most entrepreneurs. You're not really having to sacrifice that much. I mean, it's not like you're having to walk through broken glass in order to have success. You're not having to experience physical pain. So I'm not talking about any physical pain. If you're a pro athlete, if you're a boxer, yes, you're going to have to go through some physical pain so that you're, if you want to become famous or make a lot of money, things like that. So we're talking about what we sacrifice in network marketing. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. But listen, as you guys hop on, now that we got some folks on, let me know in the comments below where you're tuning in from. If you're watching this live, drop me a live in the comments. If you're watching this on the replay, just drop me a replay in the comments. And then if you're watching this, if you're actually seeing me for the first time, drop me a 1 in the comments so I can welcome you. And then if you do happen to share this and add some value to some other people's lives, let me know you shared it so I can thank you for the share. So here is my recommendation to you, and this is whether you're a parent or you're going to be a parent. You see, my children were my why before I ever had kids. When I was 18 and I came to a network marketing event, and one of the leaders got on stage and he had spent a month overseas in Europe. He talked about world schooling his children, teaching his kids history, not just out of the history books, but in the places in the world where the history actually happened. And man, I got filled up with goosebumps. I got excited about that, about, taking my kids around the world and making them cultured and, seeing the pyramids in Egypt and the Eiffel Tower and the 7 wonders of the world and, things like that. So, that kind of became my why, was to world school my kids. And I definitely had to sacrifice a lot of things. And I'll tell you the things I had to sacrifice. And before I do, I'm just going to tell you what my recommendation. If you're watching me right now, I'm giving you homework. If you're a parent, you want to be a parent, you're going to be a parent, I want you to write this down. What am I willing to sacrifice so my kids don't have to? And I want you to look at it on a regular basis. Post it somewhere. Maybe put it on your desk, just a little thing on your desk, so you see it. So it's like a little reminder, because we'll tend to do a lot more for other people that we love than we will for ourselves. So you want to, chances are, become a millionaire because you want a nice house, or you want nice cars, or you want to buy your, dream lake house, or whatever it may be, right? So you want those things, but oftentimes we won't sacrifice much for a desire for pleasure. We'll do much more to avoid pain, either for ourselves or especially for those that we love. And if you can take a look at what your children may have to sacrifice if you don't succeed. See, if you don't succeed, your children may have to sacrifice some things. And when I look at it, I think the biggest thing that they sacrifice is they have to follow in your footsteps. And I don't mean to put anyone down. By all means. I mean, I look at, I'm out here in East Texas, and I mean, some of the best people in the world, they're not necessarily money motivated. They live a great life, and there's nothing wrong with that. But that's not really my audience. I'm not talking to a general audience. If you're watching me, you want to go somewhere in life. I tend to run off the people who don't want to go anywhere. I'm okay with being polarizing in that way. okay, which is a lesson in itself. Be okay with being polarizing and essentially turning off the people who are not your market. I'm okay if I turn people off, if I piss people off, because they're not my market. They can go listen to someone else who's willing to, hold hands with them and sing Kumbaya. That's not my deal, okay? See, I think what your children sacrifice is they sacrifice inspiration. They don't have a source of inspiration that's close to them. So my background as a child, I grew up, my father went to prison for murder when I was around 5 years old. He was an alcoholic. He committed suicide. He was not much of an inspiration. My mother was a single mom. She worked 2 jobs to work her way through college, work her way through law school. She became an attorney. And ultimately became a judge and retired as a judge. Now, we were very, very poor. We lived in a garage apartment. I mean, when you sat on the toilet, your knees were in the shower. It was just one big room, basically. And so it was a very humble place. We lived in a trailer park for a while. It's not the most luxurious place. So if I look back at that, you could say I was sacrificing nice clothes. The sacrifice I had to go through then was I didn't have nice clothes and I didn't have money to do things. We didn't have the money to go on exotic vacations. So you could call that a sacrifice. That's not really what I'm talking about today. You can, if that's a motivation for you, for your children not to have to live in a trailer park, man, let that be a motivation. Let that light your fire. What I'm talking about is the real sacrifice is they've got no one to follow in their footsteps. See, the biggest blessing that my mother gave to me, and there was a lot of times where I didn't get to see her because she was working in the evenings and a lot of time away. She was studying in law school, all these things, right? So I had to sacrifice some time with my mom, but the biggest gift she gave me was the inspiration of doing big things, of finishing college, of getting her law degree, of becoming an attorney, of pursuing her dreams, okay? Most of my followers don't have necessarily a dream of, maybe being an attorney. It's a dream of becoming a top leader in network marketing or an entrepreneur, things like that. But here's the lesson is she sacrificed a lot so that she could give me the inspiration to go pursue my dreams. So if you look at me, man, why am I so motivated? Why was I inspired to go after my dreams? Well, I had a role model who went after her dreams, who let nothing stop her. I mean, crazy amounts of obstacles and challenges that she had to overcome to make her dream a reality. She sacrificed time with me. But the biggest thing that she gave me, the biggest gift, was that inspiration. And so what are you willing to sacrifice so your kids don't have to? Are you willing to sacrifice a loss of sleep? Are you willing so that you can be that inspiration to your children? Are you willing to sacrifice your social esteem from ignorant people? Are you willing to look foolish for a period of time? Are you willing to be frustrated for long enough until you figure it out? Because you're probably gonna have to be frustrated for a period of time. I was frustrated for 5 years before I got to a full-time income, and it sucked. It would have been so much easier to go get a corporate job and do the 9-to-5 thing like all my friends did, okay? But I was willing to sacrifice the frustration long enough to figure it out so that one day my children wouldn't have to sacrifice seeing their father not do big things. See, it's no surprise why most children end up living average lives is because they're just following in the footsteps of their parents, okay? So you're gonna have to sacrifice some things. You're gonna have to sacrifice your ego. Your ego is this thing that gets beaten up when you get rejected. If you're in network marketing and you go and you show your business to someone and they can't believe you would do such a thing, that's beneath you. Well, you call it what you want. I don't know how else to create the kind of lifestyle that we live, have the kind of financial freedom that we have, be able to travel all over the world, have your income not skip a beat, even if you take a week or a month or half a year off. I don't know any other industry. So you're going to have to sacrifice your coolness, okay? You're going to have to sacrifice your reputation and be more concerned with your character. See, your character is who you are. Your reputation is just what other people think about you. So you may have to sacrifice your reputation for a period of time until your results prove that it was a worthy endeavor. These are the things that you're going to have to sacrifice. John, what's up? Your ego is not your amigo. Love it. So yeah, listen, that's what I want you to do. Just write it down. What are you willing to sacrifice so that your children don't have to? You may have to sacrifice some sleepless nights because you're so frustrated. And, there's business challenges. Guess what? Challenges never go away in business. They never go away. It's just your ability to respond to the challenge is what really matters. So listen, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you so much. I appreciate the comments. Let me know your biggest takeaway from this in the comments below. And if you would like to get some advanced training, feel free to hop over to leadwithmatt.com. If you feel like this can add some value to some others, definitely hit the share button. Let me know if you do so I can give you a shout out. Thank you guys so much. Go make life an adventure.